Now to Ukraine. The country says that its energy and gas infrastructure has again come under widespread air attack from Russia, involving at least 67 missiles and 194 drones. The energy minister said that Russia was trying to harm the civilian population by targeting energy production. Officials in Odessa and Kyiv say that waves of attacks left infrastructure damaged and homes on fire. Several injuries have been reported in Kyiv, and elsewhere the military administration in Ukraine's eastern region of Donetsk say that Russian glide bombs injured 7 people, including 2 children. Kyiv says that for the first time, Ukraine has used French Mirage jets to repel a Russian attack. While these latest attacks come as Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says that he will travel to Saudi Arabia next week, where Ukrainian and US officials are due to discuss an initial ceasefire with Russia. Mr. Zelensky, who won't attend those discussions, said that Kyiv was working constructively for a fast and lasting peace. Well, this news comes as European leaders held emergency talks in Brussels on boosting defence spending and support for Kyiv. President Zelensky says he's thankful his country is not alone after President Trump cut military aid and intelligence sharing with Ukraine. The Kremlin's warned again against European peacekeepers being deployed in Ukraine. Well, at the summit in Brussels, the EU leaders agreed unanimously that both Russia and its ally Belarus posed a threat. The European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said that they were determined to act with, as she put it, the scale, speed and resolve that the situation needed. And she had this message for Mr. Trump.
We all want a peace through strength, a just and lasting peace, but a peace from a position of strength. And this is also in the interest of President Trump, to have a peace through strength. And if he wants to achieve this, it is only possible with the support of the European Union and its member states, because preconditions have to be met. We have been the ones, for example, who have secured the economic survival of Ukraine for the year 2025. We are the ones who now invest a lot in Ukrainian defense industry and are providing the military capabilities that Ukraine needs.
Ursula von der Leyen at the close of yesterday's summit. Well, our Europe editor, Katya Adler, has this analysis from Brussels.
We keep hearing that Europe is in a historic and unprecedented moment, and at their emergency summit today, EU leaders have come up with something quite exceptional, means of producing unprecedented amounts of funds for defence spending, and that includes Germany, which is normally so debt shy, pushing for the bloc to take on more debt. And all of this with a view of Europe becoming less reliant on the United States for its defence, which it has been since the Second World War. What has not been the aim of this meeting, though, is for leaders to thumb their nose at Washington and say, we don't need you anymore, neither in Ukraine nor more widely in Europe. In fact, what they've been hoping is that by showing that they will take more responsibility for their own defence, they can persuade Donald Trump to keep the capabilities in place in Europe that they so really need.
Katya Adler there. Well, those meetings in Europe are being followed closely in Washington. Our North America correspondent Merlin Thomas gave us her thoughts on where the transatlantic relationship, and in particular the US relationship with Ukraine, now stands.
This is the first high-level meeting that we know of between the two countries since that very public shouting match that took place in the Oval Office between President Trump and President Zelensky. Now, President Trump's senior aide and envoy, Steve Witkoff, has confirmed that this meeting will take place in Saudi Arabia next week. And President Zelensky has separately confirmed it and has said that he will be meeting with the Crown Prince as well on Monday. Now, Mr. Witkoff says that this meeting is primarily to work on a framework for peace, and he said that President Zelensky had acknowledged how much the US had done for Ukraine and had also apologized. And so this is a really significant moment, but also it should be taken day by day, because it was just last week that President Trump had said he wanted a deal with Ukraine. And then since then, we've seen the US withdraw military support from Ukraine and also stop intelligence sharing with Ukraine. And many have said that those moves are really a way for the US to bring Ukraine to the negotiating table and possibly get it to make some concessions when brokering that peace deal. Now, President Zelensky has made it clear that his Ukrainian delegation will be in Saudi Arabia to work on peace. And he said that Ukrainians truly do want peace, but not at the cost of giving up Ukraine. Now, remember, it was just last month that it was Russian officials who were meeting with American officials in Saudi Arabia, and it was Ukraine that was feeling sidelined. Now, it's Ukraine that's meeting with American officials in Saudi Arabia, and this may be that lifeline that Ukraine is really looking for in order to find that way to peace and end this war.